Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Jadon Sancho has Man United transfer hope as Borussia Dortmund are looking at replacements. Borussia Dortmund want Callum Hudson-Odoi to replace Jadon Sancho. Sancho could be available for 75 million this summer. Borussia Dortmund have told Jadon Sancho that he can leave the club this summer. Solskjaer has made Jadon Sancho a transfer priority, despite some of the players wanting Solskjaer to sign Jack Grealish. Fabrizio Romano did say not so long ago that Man United are interested in Sancho, but there's been no official talks or bid yet. But yeah, Sancho to Manchester United is close. It says the deal's been agreed, the contract's been agreed, and the personal terms been agreed. And Jadon Sancho loves the prospect of joining Manchester United this summer. Jadon Sancho's representatives are more confident than ever that Sancho will join Man United this summer. Borussia Dortmund earlier on this year did confirm that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho that will allow him to depart Dortmund. The Manchester Evening News also said a few weeks ago that Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund, and it even said at one point Man United could use Lingard, to buy Jadon Sancho, because it said that Dortmund were interested in Lingard. Solskjaer has made his final decision on Jesse Lingard. He's ready to sell him. Chelsea obviously want Jadon Sancho. Liverpool have been in for him, and Bayern Munich recently entered the race. Last summer, Sancho was our number one priority target. I thought we was going to get him last summer because Sancho to Man United was extremely close. The personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, the wages had been agreed, and the contract had been agreed. The reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Fabrizio Romano, who is a very reliable Italian journalist and close to Man United, he's spoken a hell of a lot about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga, and so too has Bild's Christian Falk. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Sancho has endured 4 seasons at Dortmund, and I think in a lot of his games he's been very, very consistent. He's endured a couple of bad periods here and there. Dortmund paid just £7 million for him from Man City in 2017. The reason he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. Sancho's under contract with Dortmund until 2023. He'll be a good signing for Man United. The reasons is because he'll dramatically improve us. He's predominantly a right winger. He would exceed expectations in the Premier League. And he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. They do talk to each other a lot. So they are the reasons. Now, Obviously, Manchester United are interested in signing Harry Kane from Tottenham. Daniel Levy, who's Tottenham's chairman, he recently slapped a £200 million asking price on Harry Kane. £200 million is a world record fee. Daniel Levy obviously doesn't want Tottenham to sell Harry Kane because he is aware of how much of an imperative player that Kane is. Last week, Daniel Levy was furious with Harry Kane for going public with his desire to leave. Kane obviously had an interview with Gary Neville, to discuss his future. Kane came out and said that he will decide on his own future, not Daniel Levy. Reports came out yesterday, like I updated you on, saying that Mauricio Pochettino could make a return to Tottenham. That could convince Harry Kane to remain at Tottenham. Obviously, Pochettino is PSG manager. Seems to be unhappy at PSG. Pochettino did manage Tottenham before for 5.5 years. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure when he was at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. And in 2019, Pochettino guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. Gary Neville recently named 3 players Manchester United could swap for Harry Kane. That's Martial, Jesse Lingard and Daniel James. Gary on the Transfer Window podcast recently said that Man United are preparing to sign Kane. He says we are ready to double his wages to around £400,000 a week. Says plus we'd pay an 18 million signing on fee to compensate the loss of his earnings on his Tottenham contract. Solskjaer obviously wants Kane at Man United. He's open to selling Anthony Martial to free up space for Kane. But yeah, last week, Harry Kane put in a transfer request at Tottenham. He says Man United, Man City and Chelsea have all made contact with his representatives. At the first, it said Tottenham wanted from between 120 to 150 million pounds. I think the most Tottenham will get for Harry Kane is 120 million. They won't get 115, they certainly won't get 200 million. Ryan Mason, who's Tottenham's interim manager, he dismissed suggestions that Harry Kane asked to leave. Chelsea launched a bid not so long ago. It said they was willing to offer Arrizabalaga and Tammy Abraham as part of a swap deal for Kane. I don't see him going to Chelsea. He'll either come to us or he will go to City. Kane said quite a few weeks ago now that he wants to win team trophies. Because Tottenham have not won a trophy for 13 years. Have they? He said a few weeks ago that Harry Kane was ready to ask Tottenham to listen to transfer offers for him this summer. At one point, the Glazers were planning to sanction a £90 million bid. Kane has won the Golden Boot 3 times now. Being a very long-serving player at Tottenham, he's endured 17 years with them. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's risen up Tottenham's academy. He's got a contract with them until 2024. He's had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. But I'd certainly take Harry Kane at Manchester United because he's regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. He's well proven in the Premier League. And he'd fit in our team perfectly. And he would assure us goals. We still want a striker, despite Edison Cavani signing a one-year deal not so long ago. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Declan Rice from West Ham. Declan Rice is our main midfield target. Declan Rice recently said he's desperate for Jesse Lingard to seal a permanent transfer at West Ham. Darren Fletcher, who's our technical director, he said that Declan Rice asked about Man United when he was on international duty with England. But reports came out the other month saying that Declan Rice was interested in joining Man United, and he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. Earlier on this year, it says that West Ham were demanding £100 million. That's too much for Declan Rice. I reckon he's worth between £60 to £70 million. The reasons I'd take Declan Rice at Manchester United is because he's proven in the Premier League, learned his trade in the Premier League, he's still young, he's got a lot of development in him, he dramatically improves, and he's predominantly a holding midfielder, and he can also be deployed as a centre-half. They're the reasons. I think Declan Rice would be a good adequate replacement for Matic. You know, Rice has been at West Ham for like 7 years now, got a contract with them till 2024. So yeah, Rafael Varane, he's another player that Manchester United want. He recently said that Man United held talks with Rafael Varane's representatives. Romano said not so long ago that Rafael Varane is the main name on Man United's list, and we are waiting to see what happens with his situation at Real Madrid. Real Madrid have rejected a £40 million bid for him. You know, they are demanding around £60 million for Varane. We've looked at quite a few centre-halves. I think we've drawn up a 5-man centre-back shortlist. We still want a centre-half despite Eric Bailly signing a new contract not so long ago. It's very, very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in the summer transfer window. Because I don't think he's been backed enough so far. And I'm expecting Solskjaer to get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window. Because we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've also got Matt Judge. The summer transfer window will be Ole's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. Solskjaer recently demanded 3 world-class signings in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. I think we can win the Premier League next season if we recruit well in the summer transfer window. I'm expecting outgoings in the summer transfer window. But Solskjaer did recently say there may not be many outgoings in the summer transfer window. But the players I want to leave Man United is De Gea, Romero, Lee Grant. I want Jones to go. I want us to loan Brandon Williams out so Brandon Williams can gain more experience and he can get more opportunities, because Brandon Williams seldom plays for us. He's our 3rd choice left back. I want us to obviously get rid of Delors permanently. I want us to get rid of Andres Pereira permanently. He's out on loan at the moment with Lazio. I think we also need to get rid of Nemanja Matic. We need to offload Juan Mata, and we need to offload Anthony Martial, because he's no longer good enough to represent Man United, and he's been out of an injury for a long time. So the players that we do sell in the summer transfer window will generate money, and it will help us with our rebuilding process. There is very good players at Manchester United, and I think there's certain players that have improved as well. You know, Dean Henderson, he's very, very good. Dean Henderson is now our number one goalkeeper. We made the right decision putting him as number one, because he's done well in a lot of the games he's been in goal for this season. And he's got that experience behind him, because Dean Henderson endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he's also had other loan spells before. Don't forget, Henderson did sign a 6-year contract with Man United for the start of the season. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. I hope Henderson stays, because I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. Luke Shaw, I think, you know, he's very, very good. Enjoyed a very, very good season. He was our best player. You know, in a lot of Luke Shaw's games, he showed very good attacking intent. He created good chances for his teammates. He got into very good positions. His crossing was good. He provided width. And defensively was superb. Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back, despite the arrival of Telles last summer. Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been at the club now for 7 years. Shaw has just over 2 years left on his current contract. Earlier on this year, though, it said that Man United were in talks over getting Luke Shaw a new 5-year contract worth around £180,000 a week. Shaw's had some bad games. I think towards the end of the season, he looked a bit off the pace for like 2 or 3 games in a row. I think Harry Maguire is good when he wants to be, because he's been very consistent in some games, but there's also been some games where he's looked very, very poor. Harry Maguire has got ligament damage in his ankle. He sustained the ankle injury in the 3-1 win against Aston Villa. By the way, Harry Maguire has missed the final training session ahead of the final against Villarreal tonight, because Solskjaer did say, didn't he, that Harry Maguire will probably try and join the final training session. But yeah, he was named in the travelling squad for the Europa League final. But yeah, he is a big, big miss for us. We did overpay for Harry Maguire. You know, we got him in a deal worth £80 million. So reflecting on that, he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and the second most expensive signing at the club. Eric Bailly, you know, he's a very, very good centre-half. He's just too injury prone, so in that aspect, Eric Bailly is a liability. Eric Bailly has been at the club now for around 5 years. We got him back in 2016 from Villarreal. We paid £30 million for him, and the other week, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There is an option of a further year. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also a very, very good right back. He's really improved. You know, in his recent games, he showed a lot more attacking intent. He's got into good positions. He's put good crosses into the box. And defensively, he's always been good. And Wan-Bissaka has enjoyed 2 full seasons at Man United. We got him in a deal worth 50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. He's one of the best right-backs we've had since Gary Neville, and I'm convinced he can emulate into next Gary Neville. He's got a long-term future at the club. Paul Pogba, he's done well in recent months. You know, Pogba does bring creativity to the team. I hope Paul Pogba stays potentially past the summer, but Paul Pogba could leave. Matthias Pogba, who's Paul Pogba's brother, he wants Paul Pogba to go to Barcelona. He said the other week that Paul Pogba could leave Man United for just £55 million. He has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him, and his former club Juventus have been in for him. I said if he leaves Man United, he'll go back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years with them before he rejoined us. Pogba's current contract expires next year. Because don't forget, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Earlier on this year, it said that Man United will offer Paul Pogba a new £400,000 a week contract. But he said he was demanding £500,000 a week. It says we will sell Pogba if he doesn't sign a new contract. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Paul Pogba to stay. He said earlier on this year he hopes Paul Pogba signs a new contract. Pogba has enjoyed 5 seasons at Manchester United since he rejoined. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. He's had a few injuries at Man United. At one point he was out with a thigh injury for a while. At one point he had an ankle injury. He's had a couple of ankle injuries. Mini Oriola has been desperate to get his client out of the football club. You know, Mini Oriola said not so long ago that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Man United or at another top European club. He says Pogba's future's still in doubt. He also mentioned that Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. Earlier on this year, Mini Oriola said he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. And he did criticise Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. Mini Oriola made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement. You know, if Pogba does leave in the summer transfer window, then I think we need a good, adequate replacement for him. I think Donny van der Beek is a good player, but he just doesn't get enough starts at Man United. I think last season he only started 4 Premier League games. You know, most of his appearances come from the bench. But I think Van der Beek will stay potentially past the summer. Because not so long ago it said that we will reject any offers for Donny van der Beek. So reflect on that, we are reluctant to let him go. I think Bruno Fernandes is also exceptional. You know, he's made a difference in the team. Bruno Fernandes is set to sign a new contract worth £200,000 a week after he admitted that he's happy with the progress of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. So yeah, we're going to be doubling Bruno Fernandes' wages because obviously at the moment he's on £100,000 a week. He's got 4 years left on his current contract. He's under contract with the club till 2025. There's also an option of a further 12 months. Not so long ago, Bruno Fernandes won Player of the Year, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He has now been at the club over a year. Mason Greenwood's also really improved. In the vast majority of his games, since he broke into our senior squad, he's been very consistent. Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019 and he's been a United player since the age of 7. He did sign a 4-year contract, did Greenwood, didn't he? He deserved a new contract though, reflecting on his good performances. Edison Cavani, he's also very good. We know he's staying for next season. Marcus Rashford's also good, but he does enjoy his bad games as well. We need to keep Marcus Rashford out on the left because that's where he's more effective. Rashford's become injury prone at Man United because he has sustained quite a few injuries. So, there you go. So yeah, like I said, these good players, but analysing our current squad at the moment, it's not good enough to win the Premier League title, and that's why we need to strengthen. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he does deserve credit because I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. You've got to say he's done well to say the squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Next season is massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because next season, he's got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Man United manager. If things start to go wrong next season, then obviously he'll be back under pressure and then there's a good chance he will be sacked. Like I said, he isn't the long-term manager for Man United. Solskjaer has now endured 2 full seasons at Man United, and he's been in charge for 29 months now or something like that, so that means he's been in charge for over 2 years. Earlier on this year, it said that Solskjaer agreed a 3-year contract worth 30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. But yeah, there's a lot of United fans that are all in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. But obviously there's been a lot of United fans that have demanded Ole out and they've heavily criticised him. Obviously they've got their reasons behind it. But yeah, our focus now is on this Europa League final tonight against Villarreal. Obviously it's Gdansk, which is in Poland. Solskjaer's named a 26-man squad. Solskjaer is looking to win his first trophy as Manchester United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. This is Solskjaer's first major final as Man United manager, and it's our 8th European final. If we win the Europa League, it'll be a fantastic achievement for Ole. Then that'd obviously give us something to build on going on into next season. But there's a lot of positivity regarding Ole, there really is. He's got us to the Europa League final. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final his second full season. Got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Don't forget, in Solskjaer's second full season, we went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League, which is a record. Ole did well last season in his first full season. Got us a 3rd place finish, guided us to 3 semi-finals. Got us a 2nd place finish in his second full season. So you can see that Solskjaer made progress in his second full season from his first full season. Solskjaer's made good signings as Man United manager so far. He's spent almost £300 million. And so far he's endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. He's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, and I like the way he has promoted the youth. We did appoint Ollie in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We gave him the job permanently, a couple of years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. That doesn't mean he can't succeed though as Man United manager. We adore Solskjaer, he's a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. So there you go. So alright guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.